A very good afternoon, all the way from a civic theatre, now known as the Johannesburg Theatre. Sila,
Sila.
City of Johannesburg.
Yes.
Hello.
Hi.
Guys, you will notice this is the Grand Piano Truth, and today I'm not alone. You would have noticed on some of our clips that we have our beautiful sister, our sister boss.
I know. I
With
love
me,
the
it
sister
is the girl
boss.
that is passionate with choral music. A girl who is passionate about music in general.
General.
Yebo, and a woman who is passionate about pushing other women to get there.
Yes,
Thuso
absolutely.
Mojatau, Thuso Wasibini to those who love her.
Yeah.
Thuso, how are you today?
Yeah, Pilako, how are you?
Ah, Nyaphila, my sister. Now, Thuso, we are in this beautiful event. We see all these beautiful choirs from around Johannesburg, only Johannesburg.
Yeah.
Okay? And Langa Pagatigashis.
Yeah.
The competition is very tight.
Yeah.
Choirs have improved.
Yeah.
Choirs, bona, they've upped their game. And now, ngamahlebezi siyezwa kuthiwa kukhona into engathi ngiyayipheka Thuso.
Yeah.
Sizwa kukhulunywa nge-choral Indaba.
Yeah.
Can you touch a little bit on that?
Hey,
What is this choral Indaba?
Yeah.
Kwenzakalani ku-choral
Yeah.
Indaba?
Hey, choral music Indaba when Akona, I think is a brainchild of, I'm going to give credit to Uzimasa Stas. She invited me on her podcast, and during that interview on her podcast, I spoke about my passion for making sure that choral music is recognized as the major players that we are in the bigger scheme of the South African music industry. And I think that's where the idea was birthed. And she challenged me. She said, run with it, go with it. I'm right behind you, go for it. And I think there's a lot of work that has since then, gone into cooking this choral music indaba. Choral music indaba is really just a network. It's not a podcast. I know sometimes we could, if you see it, it's not a podcast.
Yeah.
It's not another channel. It's not another, but it's a network that we are trying to create for the choral music fraternity to be able to pull all these other music industry executives, professionals, bodies towards us. Because Tina Okwamanje, we are there, we are active, we are alive, but we exist in our own little bubble.
Yes.
We exist in our own little bubble, but there's so much great talent. Akona, we have the biggest exports of opera music are from South Africa, but yet in our own country, we are not counted as major players. In fact, to the bigger industry, they call us ama niche, they call us ama sidelined genres, And I think it's about time where we pull industry into this little bubble of ours. And once we pop that bubble, things are just going to open up. So we are really just trying to unlock opportunities. We are trying to unlock the fraternity to be able to be seen as the major players that we are. We are trying to bring CMOs, the collection management organizations, closer to us to first of all teach us how do we monetize. Every time a choir is on stage, like all these choirs that are inside, it's being recorded. It's going to be played somewhere.
Yes.
We should be earning.
Yes.
It's being recorded. It's going to be repeated somewhere. Me on my radio show, I'm going to play these performances. They should be earning. The composer of the song should be earning. The choir that's performing it should be earning. So there's a whole value chain that we've missed for years, for many years. We can't go back and collect that money that we've missed, but we can definitely start working towards how do we start collecting now in this day, in this age? Because we've missed out on so many opportunities to monetize, and the money is there. But these things are not going to come to us. We must go to them. And that's exactly what choral music Indaba is. We're just unlocking opportunities. There isn't a difference between Uncle Waffles that writes a song and performs it versus a choir that performs a song that was written by a Muhammad Mukhali. We all need to be earning, and that's what the choral music Indaba seeks to do. But over and above the earning potential, it's also just to try to create frameworks around regulating some things in the space, just to also have those conversations, those difficult conversations that we've been so afraid to have. those difficult conversations that we've been scared to have. Maybe we don't have the knowledge on how to have those conversations. So we are literally just bringing industry into our world. We're bringing in CMOs into our world. We're bringing in so many of the industry players that are around us into our little bubble. And the Choral Music Indaba is really just that. It's a network, and we hope that one day we'll be able to have this thing that, if industry says we are looking for a choir to come and perform in a movie,
and they know where to go.
they know where to go. We'll be their link to say, okay, actually, here's the choir you need.
I love
because
it.
you think about it also on our phones. There's so many opportunities for choral music.
There is.
Funeral scenes. Have you seen the funeral scenes that are on TV?
In Makangani funeral scene,
Yeah,
have you seen Shaga Ilembe? We have music by Professor Mzilikazi Kumalo on
Precisely.
that can be used.
Professor should be eating from that. He should be making money.
Yeah.
But obviously, because we are not part of the bigger picture, we are unable to say, yeah. This person should be up. So that's really what Choral Music Indaba aims to do.
Wow.
In a nutshell.
Look, I am blown away too. So I am really blown away that somebody actually sat and thought of an idea that will actually help our choirs to get somewhere, instead of just being a group of musicians that are suffering even financially. I even love the fact that you guys have thought as far as finances and return on investments and all of that for our choirs. Look, we love it. Now, we know, talking of return of investments, before we even get to investments, we know our biggest challenge with the choral fraternity, people do not have funds to sustain these choirs. Now, here is this big baby that has just been birthed, which is Choral Indaba. How do you now plan to get this off the ground? Because you'll definitely need funds.
Yeah. So the plan really, and I think a lot of the times when we think of creating something, we always think we need money. We always think, I don't have the money to start this. I need the money to start this. But in all honesty, a lot of the times, and this is what we've done as a Choral Music Indaba, is to collaborate, because there's value in approaching a grand piano truth to say, listen, you've got a platform that has a following of a choral music. Let's see how we can work together. It's not monetary, but it's value exchange. We can offer you this. I offer you this. We come to an Akona who's a big PR person in the choral space, and we say, Akona, you've got this following. Let's see how we can work around it. And I tell you now, that's one of the things that we are unlocking, how the choral music space can go and approach industry for funding. That's one of those things. And we've worked with Isamro. They're actually in the room. We've invited them to come and see what we do. We've invited a whole lot of music executives to come and see what people who have never heard choral before, people who have never listened to a note of choral, people who literally is their first time experiencing a choral music. But because we want them to come into our world, we've said, come and see this thing that we do. Because then we're able to go back to them and say, hey, you saw this. Now, we need this much to make this possible. And they're invested. The good thing is that we've done the groundwork. We've had the conversations. We've presented the choral fraternity as much as we can to them. They are now here. They're supporting it. And to be quite honest, there's no money to get this thing off the ground. But we believe in partnering, and we believe in the value of forming partnerships that will get this thing off the ground.
Well, there you have it. There you have it. We have with me, like I said, guys, Thuso Wasivini, Thuso Mojatau, and you need to look up for these news. There's a Choral Indaba that is coming very soon. The Choral Indaba is going to be happening very soon. So we're going to need you guys to keep your eyes on the page. What's the page to follow?
The page to follow is B Sharp Music Academy, and we are partnering with B Sharp because they are in the business of edutainment, and they are big in the choral space. So do follow B Sharp Music Academy on Facebook. That is where everything will be happening. We've partnered with you, we've partnered with Sia, we've partnered with so many different people to get this thing off the ground, and that's how we're going to make sure that it actually does happen.
Well, there you have it. You go on Facebook, you look out for the page of Bishop. If Mama's Bishop, he's always sharing on the Bishop page so that you can get to follow the Bishop page. Hashtag. It's B, capital letter B, with the hashtag. That's B Sharp page. You go there, you find the news on the Choral Indaba. We're going to speak to a lot of people regarding a Choral Indaba. Because it has been on social platforms
Yeah.
for some time.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you.